was a spring break for a lot of people. I know last week I talked about how spring break between last week and this week was spring break for a lot of people. Chaos came to Miami, and it was definitely something. I know for a fact. I was okay with staying indoors, relaxing while everyone else wanted to party and didn't like Miami wanted curfews. I'm okay with that. For me, that's okay because in the end, I'm a homebody. I've mentioned it before. I love being at home with a book or movie on my iPad or on my TV. It depends on what I'm feeling that day. But definitely wanted to be home. Did not want to interact. I wish I actually had another spring break, but unfortunately not. The only break I got next time is for Easter, and it's for a couple of days, and I can't wait because my family and I decided to take a vacation. So I am excited to go on a family trip. It's been a long week, but the weekend is here. Tomorrow, Saturday. The moment I clock out for this after this show, I should be on my way home to enjoy a book, either that or watch Castle with my mom. If not, finish season 5 of The Rookies. If you guys don't know what The Rookies is, I've mentioned Castle before, and his name is Nathan. He's the technically one of the main cast. Nathan was and is now the star of The Rookies, and he is a 40-year-old police officer who just started in patrol. And I love the show. It is very funny. It's like, and it talks about a lot of change, a lot of seriousness that not many people think of when it comes to the police. I know with everything that happened with 2020 and a lot of things went down. It gives you some type of insight to think about when it comes to police. I know there's certain police out there that want to make a difference for their community. They want to actually do something for the community, and I couldn't be more grateful. I was talking to my mom and my cousin today, my little twin, even though she doesn't like it. We were talking about how I was doing a radio show today. Hopefully, she is listening. Hello, Evelyn. If you are not, I will definitely be sending you this video later. I am doing a video podcast, guys. Hopefully, soon I get to publish everything. And by the time I publish all of the recordings of the shows that I've done lately, you guys get to go back and see what I do here on the other side visually. I know that my family are definitely listening right now for sure. And usually they're texting me, "We're here, we're here, we're listening. You're doing a good job. I love you." And sometimes I say hi, sometimes I don't. I do see your messages, guys. I promise. So back to my show. We talk about a lot of things that are not are very underrated. They're not trending, and that is something a lot of people don't talk about. I talked about the B movie the last time. The B movie keeps popping up when I do my research. The B movie is terrible, guys. It's absolutely terrible. It's one of the most terrible movies that are out there, especially since it's a kids movie. It's no. Literally no. My mom might get upset cuz she was recently watching this show, and I absolutely don't see the satisfaction. There's only at least one scene that I like, and it's because I'm a big fan of BTS, and they decided to add the song as a female cover from one of the characters in the show of Emily in Paris. I personally, it's not my cup of tea. Many will agree, many will disagree. For me, Emily in Paris, I don't see what makes her charming. I was reading through the websites and doing my research on the show and why people think that this show is in the category as bad or worst shows on Netflix. Either I go into shows on Netflix because that's the only thing I watch most of the time. It's Hulu, but Emily in Paris. One of the things they had to say was the fact that the protagonist insists that she's this charming person but has this ugly American behavior, especially since the fact that she moved to Paris to work over there. And she's just she wants this stereotypical French, like French person to date, and I find it chaos. I've sit through a couple scenes of them, and my mom for some reason likes it. I don't know if she has any comments relating towards it, but in my personal opinion, I do not like this show whatsoever, and I tried sitting through it. It didn't it wasn't for me, I guess. Um, there was another Netflix show that I saw, and it's with I know her last name is Drew. She is so funny. She was in Charlie's Angels, and if you know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. Um, she started in the show Santa Clarita. I might be saying that wrong. Diet. It's a zombie type show where she gets this zombie like symptoms, and it was about her and her family, a very stereotypical family type thing. And they had to figure out what they were gonna do to feed, to feed the mom, hence Drew. She had these symptoms of wanting to eat human beings, and they had to figure out how they were gonna do that. I sat through I think a couple of episodes of that show, and I could not continue it. When it's something is not interesting to me, I try it, and if I don't like it, I don't like it. If I do, I will sit through it all the way through, and if I leave it, you can tell that it's not my cup of tea. When it came to movies, it was between bad and unrated. If you guys don't know the movie Super Babies, it's basically these babies that they were intelligent, that they were these, I would guess, spy type things. Like, they were just spies, like, these awesome, extraordinary. I remember the first one. I think we used to watch it all the time on cable, and I sat through it. When I saw the list and I saw that Super Babies 2 was a part of it, I was trying to remember why people didn't like it. I sat through it. I sat through it and I liked it. I guess it didn't make such of an impression on me that I shut it out of my head. I don't remember it, and I was just like, well, I used to love this show. I don't know why I can't remember it. I definitely have to go. I think that's what my research is like to talk more about it, give my opinion. So I guess that's my homework for this weekend. The next movie, The Cat in the Hat live action. It's a very old movie, and I remember watching it. It's funny, but it's terrible. It's a terrible funny. And I don't like things that are dumb. There is a lot of inappropriate jokes, and it's a child's movie. Even I was just like, yeah, this is no. It was definitely not for me, and I was okay with that. You had the Son of the Masks. Oh my goodness. When I saw the Son of the Mask, I understand why many people don't like it. Um, I was okay with that. And I I was like, okay, the first one, everyone loved the first one. Cuz when they think about the first one, they think of Jim Carrey, and he was hilarious cuz Cameron Diaz was in it. Funny, funny, funny. And I was talking to my friend Tamoy about it. I was just like, this is like that this movie is funny. I think this movie is actually pretty good. She tells me that she has never seen it, and I'm like, what? I'm like, you have to give it at least a try. I mean, what's so harm about it? I think when I think about it, and when I think about it, I I'm like, okay. And the first thought that comes to me is the "Hello My Baby" song that comes out, and I will play a little clip of it in a second if I could get it up on YouTube. It's one of the most funniest things because you know how the mask is very like out of character. He's this funny like animated type character, even though it's a real life thing, and it was just funny to see how they decided to do the that scene, and I think it was just great because you see how the baby gets influenced by the mask, and even though Jim Carrey is not in the second one, you get to see um so this song is definitely one of the songs that I remember just for it. You see the baby dancing. The dad just looks at the baby dancing, and it's a baby that doesn't know how to walk or crawl. I think this movie is very like funny because even though the child doesn't look real, it's very funny because even it's back then. It's like so long ago, but it's great because it was funny at least. And oh, this movie came out in 2005, so this is definitely very old. And animations were not, and CGI were not it. It was I. It's one of my favorite movies, along with the Mask. You had Bratz. Bratz was one of the bad ones. The live action of Bratz. I remember growing up watching Bratz with my cousins, with my female cousins, and we would love them. We used to dress up like them, used to get our grandma's makeup. Actually, they put the baby blue eyeshadow and the pink lipstick. Like, trying our best to look similar to Bratz, especially when this movie came out. I think it got a little bit worse because we were like, oh, I'm this person, I'm that person. They were like, Brianna, you're Jasmine. I'm like, okay, I'll be Jasmine, I'm fine. Even though even though like everyone had their preference. You had my cousin Camilla, she was a different one. It was a mess because there's five of us, and Brett's is usually four, a group of four girls, and our family is very colorful. Where we all look different, but we are very close in some type of way. It's blood, and I just remember how we were just like pretend to be each one of them. And then when the soundtrack of Bratz came out, oh my god, we were obsessed with it. We would sing the song, and now looking back, and when I watched the movie recently, I told myself like, what in the world was I thinking? Because it was not. It was just not it, and I I felt so ashamed because you had Yasmin where she was singing and it didn't, like, you could tell that wasn't her voice, and it was just weird because she wasn't even lip syncing right, especially at the ending, and it was just not it. And I think it was funny to see how these characters that I've known, like I see like the actors, where in a lot of different movies that I've watched, you had the Mean Girl. She ended up being in the Jonas Brothers show along with um oh my god, it was with Ben Wheeler. I love this show. I think it was Baby Daddy. I don't remember. It's such a good show. It's funny. She's funny in her own way. I think she was in many other shows, but for childhood reasons, I remember her in the Jonas Brothers shows, and she was the pair or the couple she was with. She was coupled with Joe Jonas, and I don't know why. I don't remember if I liked them together, but it was something. Fred movies. Oh my god, the Fred movies. I everyone remembers Fred. Fred was something dumb that was put in front of children's screens, and it was definitely something. I just didn't like the fact that this was supposed to be called funny. I guess it was not my cup of tea. I will continue saying my cup of tea. When it comes to my taste in shows and it comes to funny, it's very rare because I'm a very serious person sometimes. But dumb funny, I don't like dumb funny. I don't know why I don't like dumb funny, but it's all good. It's all good. It's all good. Another movie was The Ridiculous Six. You had a whole lot of like people in The Ridiculous Six. I Yeah, that was something. I tried watching it. Taylor Lautner is in this movie, and they put him as a very dumb character. And it was supposed to be a very funny movie. Okay? I have a list of people. Adam Sandler was in it. Rob was in it. Tim Crew was in it. Luke Wilson. You had David Spade also in it. Machete himself was in it. You had all these good people that this could have been great, and it was this dumb funny show. Well, movie, sorry, a very dumb funny movie. Um, it was like a western type movie. I remember watching it. My brother thought it was funny to watch. I don't see the point of it. I guess it was just not my thing. Like, you had good shows and movies like Wednesday. I could go on about Wednesday. I'm very happy the way they decided to put Jenna Ortega as the new Wednesday. She did amazing playing Wednesday, and I decided to rewatch the old ones, the black and white ones. Uh I love it. It's so interesting to me how people were so terrified of the Adams, and it's just like you don't get to really see because like with the movie, the Adam Family movie that is like the most popular before Wednesday, the Adam Family movies weren't like they portrayed to be so isolated of themselves, and yes, they're these scary people because they like these different interesting things that normal people don't like. That is something they stay away from. And the show brings out how interestingly cool they are. They're these unique people that don't like what normal people like, and they're proud of it, and they're okay with that. In the show, you had Uncle Fester was not even Gomez's brother, while the movies they were brothers, and I found that funny because it was just weird to think about how Fester wasn't like his brother. It was just like I'm used to something so like so similarly. Like you watched the movie, I know for a fact I grew up with the movies. I loved it. I loved the first one and the second one. The movies were great, and then seeing how they were gonna portray all these amazing characters from Thing to Pugsley, all of these characters into the show, and you had how and you compare them to the original show, to one of the original shows of back then, especially the live action one, where Pugsley was portrayed as the older brother and Wednesday was the little sister. I didn't know how I felt about it. I wonder why they changed it that way, but I feel like Wednesday at the same time has this characteristic as an older sibling to be protective of her brother, because even though Pugsley is weird on his own way, he he's very like Wednesday's the tough one compared to Wednesday. No, compared to what to Pugsley. Pugsley is very wimpy type character, and then with the you had the animation that came out not that long ago, and I was okay with it because Pugsley was still the one who's also unique, just like Wednesday. They liked similar things. He went along with all the things from the guillotines, all of that, and all the bullying. He took it all. But when it came to their sibling relationship, Wednesday was always protective. I feel like Wednesday has that protectiveness of her, no matter where you see her. And because even in the show, I think it was Pugsley got bullied in one of the birthday parties, and Wednesday punched the kid. I feel like they did a right judgment choice on characters and changing the fact that she was a little sister to be an older sister. Because as an oldest sibling myself, I'm very protective over my little brother, and even though he is 18 years old now, I'm still protective. That's in my bones now, and I'm okay with being protective of him. And my mom's also okay because she's like, Brianna, that's your little brother, and she's the same way with her sisters, and she has two younger sisters. Very, 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 very okay with, and she's also tough on them. She's like, we mess around with our siblings. That's the way us as older siblings, that's what we do, and youngest siblings, that's also what they do. We mess with each other. But no matter what, we got each other's back. When it comes to strange and peculiar people, I tend to like the shows. Another underrated show on Netflix, and I'm glad they keep trying to create more seasons, and it was The Umbrella Academy. You have 2 seasons in The Umbrella Academy, and it is one of the most. I like it. I love it. It's so weird and so interesting in its own way, and the characters, they're amazing. They're amazingly funny. So I'm glad to see that. And it says 3 seasons. Am I wrong? I think they're gonna do 3 seasons, if I'm not mistaken. So you had all these characters. You have, I think, 7 siblings. Yes, I think there's 7 siblings, and in their own way, they're all unique. And they're like, you have no, I don't know why they didn't give him a name. You have all the characters except for one. They're all had numbers, and only one character they still haven't gave him a name, or they haven't said his name. That's 5, and 5 has the ability to time travel in time and space, right? And he could transport himself to a different portion of a space that he's in, and he has the ability to go back and forth time. His siblings, they were all born on the same day. They are not from the same parents. They were adopted by the same person, and each of them are from all over the world. And them as human beings, to see how they are as siblings, it's crazy because siblings argue. But no matter what, they have each other's backs. You had where Elliot Page, now Victor, before he was Vanya. I was glad to see that the Elliot's transition in real life was incorporated within the show, and you got to see how them as siblings were able to accept each other regardless of the situations. They had Victor's back, and even though that's what he decided, they were like, okay, we accept that. And they were able to change the name quickly, accept very quickly, and they were all each together as a family. As I know, this girl did such a good job because at some point of the show, I was so mad at Allison. Allison was this sister that she had, like, I understood her because out of all of the siblings, she was the only mom of the group, and she wanted her daughter back. So she betrayed her siblings in the end. I did not like her from then on. I understood why she did it, but I feel that as, like, even though, like, they had trouble with each other as siblings, they would have found a way to figure out how to get her daughter back because they screwed up their timeline, and in the end she lost her daughter because of the time screw up, and she just became this evil person. The actress did such a good job because I don't like her. I don't like her right now, but that's okay. There's another movie that I liked on Netflix. Not many people did, and because it's an underrated one, because I don't see it a lot. On TikTok, I do. I see clips, but not many people know about this movie. I don't know why. It's such a good movie. It's called Moxie. Moxie talks about how females in high school are very much discriminated against because of the way our bodies are shaped and sized the way we are. And it's incredible to see that we get picked and bullied on by administration because us as females, we are distracting. It's basically a movie about feminism and protests of how the female population in high school are treated against the boys. And this is an unfortunate reality where every little thing, if we are wearing a tank top, one girl gets discriminated against and the other one doesn't because everyone's body is shaped differently. If you guys decide to give it a chance, I would love that because it's such a good movie. Well, yes, it's a movie. It's such a good movie, and I like it. It's very like child friendly in some type of way because at some point they talk about sexual assault on one of the popular girls, and it wasn't taken seriously. It's an unfortunate topic, but I feel like us as females, like, we need to protest a lot because we are seen as some type of object towards certain males. And I know a lot of people, como le dicen en español, se pasan. They go over the top, the way they say it in Spanish. They go over the top on certain situations and feminism. And sometimes I understand it, sometimes I don't. I feel like this movie did such a good job to do that, and it's worth a watch. Especially, it's some type of a PG-ish type movie. It's worth a watch. If you guys have not watched Wednesday, I recommend going to watch it. I know I made my mom watch it, and she loved it. It's worth a watch. Umbrella Academy, also worth a watch. And it's that time again. 30 minutes are up, guys, and it's been a good one. And I hope to you guys come back and tune in next week here every Friday at 3 o'clock. This has been In My Eyes. I can't wait to see you guys next week. I hope you guys have an amazing weekend. And to all my family and supporters and friends and everyone listening, thank you very much, and I love you guys. Mwah!